See, I find the whole conversation really interesting, and I'm not as downbeat about Chelsea as you are, Hassam. I think that this could work for them. What I find really intriguing, though, is the split in their fan base. We know Chelsea fans quite well who are, Don and Ches. They don't like me often saying this, but they're not making any predictions yet. But the way they talk in our group chats about other clubs tells you they're confident about Chelsea. There are other Chelsea fans I know, like CB. There are other Chelsea fans we come across, like Johnny Minerals, who are, I don't want to use the word panicking, but you can tell they are very stressed about the direction that Chelsea are going in. There's never a good place to be in when your fan base is so divided. The fan base being so divided tells you there's problems. Now, Arsenal are in a good space. There are some people that are not happy, but the vast majority are. You'll always find there's going to be, not everyone agrees, but it's the balance. And it feels like Chelsea are sort of split in three. You've got a lot of people in the middle going, I'm just not sure. And then you've got two big groups of it's a failure and I think we're going to cook. And that just shows you that people have predictions, but nobody's certain of anything. Does that make sense? There isn't a feeling around Chelsea that, this is going to work or this could be amazing. Listen, I'm not taking any notice of what Maresca says in his first few interviews. I'm not taking any notice as a rival of the first few training sessions because I've seen every club do this and I've seen it work and I've seen it fail. It means nothing at this time. I remember watching Man United in pre-season under LVG going, oh my God, we are going to cook. And we lost our opening game at home to Swansea and we had a really, really difficult season. But I'm equally not going to do what others are doing and write Chelsea off. I think there is something about Maresca. I think he's highly touted. I think again, I would have said I don't want him when his name was on the shortlist, but I don't know him. Football fans are never should be as informed or more informed than your football club that have access to all the information. The only area, there's two things. I said one this morning that I stand by. Chelsea have got to stop the PR and his young signings. I get it with young Willian because he's a highly touted young Brazilian, but they're signing a lot of players that they're going to flip. They've got to stop talking to the Fabrizios and co about these players and just sign them and do a website announcement. Forget it. Because I think half the players they're signing are never for the first team. They're to loan out and they're to make money on their sale in the future to support them going forward. And I think it's murkying the water a little bit. The PR at Chelsea is really strong, and I think Chelsea fans are seeing through it and a bit jaded. I actually think they've done good business so far. I think Tostin and Dewsbury are all good signings. They need more of that and maybe a few players of a higher level. They linked to Adeyemi, and there's other names out there that I think they should be going for. But I don't right now think Chelsea are going to have a bad season. I just don't have that feeling. I think it's quite easy to go, they're screwed. I actually think they're going to surprise you, Hassam. I actually think they're going to
define success? You said something, Terry, and I really want to. I was waiting for.
Great point.
I think this can work. Define that can work.
What so can work on the same from Terry's perspective? So don't tell us fans, your perspective, neutral. Tell us.
Yes. So when I say it can work and success, it's a great question to challenge that. So I'm looking at this through a Chelsea lens. Success year one would be challenging for top four, maybe finishing between 5th and 6th, but being close to that top 4 area. Looking threatening, maybe even winning one of the domestic trophies. I think that they should be looking to win the Conference League that they're in. Their squad, they're going to have the best squad in the Conference League. They just are. The teams at that level are nowhere near the team that finished 6th in the Premier League, in my very humble opinion. So they should be looking to win those. They should be like what Man United are doing. You're looking to rebuild whilst winning. That is what I think Chelsea could be aiming for. So that would be a successful first season. But within that, the style of football looking better, more goals, harder to break down and to beat. When I talk about this working, I'm looking at this as a 2 or 3 year approach where they can get back to winning Premier League titles. I think Maresca has the ability to do that based on what I've read, based on what people say. But it's the ability to do it. It's about patience from Chelsea fans. It's about Chelsea fans who are maybe not getting. This is where I would turn around and say to Chelsea fans who are right now backing him, he may not pick the players to play that you want. There comes a point where I think you've got to let a manager cook somewhat. You're gonna, if the results don't quite go your way, you're gonna get stories that come out that sound negative. I think Maresca might expose a few players that Chelsea fans think are good enough for their team that are maybe not quite at that level. Chelsea fans have got to get out their feelings and their emotions, and they've got to start thinking objectively about what's best for their football club, as opposed to, well, I haven't got what I want. That is one area of it. And secondly, their board has got to stop chopping and changing. Short-term contract for Poch, long-term contract for Maresca. They need to decide on a style of football and a manager, and they need to work on that, and they need to implement it, because until they get that base style, everything else is going to struggle around them. But I think this could be a success for them. You know, I get a lot more Chelsea fans give me shit because I'm happy with what Ineos are doing than I'm giving them. There's certainly areas to criticize, as I've criticized with Man United. You know, I'm not over the moon about the link to Delete. I'm not over the moon that we kept Ten Hag, but I'm being objective. I'm doing the same to Chelsea. And a lot of people laughing at Dewsbury Hall. I think that's actually a good signing. The element that I find really interesting is Chelsea fans I've spoken to don't want to answer who's missing out in that midfield, because Dewsbury Hall is going to be a starter for Chelsea. Dewsbury Hall is not coming in to... I mean, someone said he's coming in to replace Gallagher. Gallagher's a starter. He's basically your captain because Reece James is always injured. So if he is replacing Gallagher, he's a starter, whether you like it or not. And I think it's about being honest with yourself. And Poch was a problem, and I stand by that, and I back the likes of Don and Ches. He was a problem. But I feel like the conversation became polarized. It doesn't mean that some of your players were also not below the standard either.
Yes.
And I think there'll be and I've seen Man United go through this when do you know what? Donny van der Beek is going to cook now that Ollie's gone. He just got sold for £500,000 because he just isn't that good a football player. You know, the fact that Ajax don't even want him back, it's objectively, sometimes you've got to just say, I was wrong about something. And as far as the discourse is, and I think fan discourse and I think fan mood is important because it feeds into a dressing room. We know that the players see what we say, not me individually or you individually, but we know that they know what goes on our social media platforms filters into these dressing rooms. And I think that Chelsea fans have got to try and come together somewhat and stop being so emotional at all times about every little detail. It's crazy to me. And I'm talking about someone who's seen my club go through where Chelsea are right now. And that triggers some, we're nowhere near where United are. You are. There's different nuances and there's different areas, but they've got to get this right, Chelsea. I think Maresca could be an excellent manager for them. I like some of their signings, but they need some unity. They need some positivity. They need their fans to get behind them. And they need a few more signings of the tossing level and above. And I'm talking age category, really important. Yeah, they could be a much better team. And if they get themselves back into the Champions League next year, then I think they're going to be okay. And within 2 years, I think they'll be challenging for Premier League titles.
Can I just say one thing, please? The first point you made.
Go on.
I think what you said, and even Mo will say this, is fair. Challenge for top 4, win the Conference League. That is something even as quote-unquote people think me and Mo are Chelsea haters would agree with. You want to know the problem? All I had to do was look at the first comment when you were speaking. Adam127, right there. If Chelsea don't get top 4, it's failure no matter process or project. Do you understand that the difference is the fan base you're dealing with? You've done the Football Terrace for 10 years. I think it's objective to say that the least patient fan base is the Chelsea fans. Is that a fair statement, Terry? Least patient. Like they have no patience whatsoever. As soon as shit hits the fan, they directly turn on the manager. There is no real affiliation to managers like that. They turned on Conte, they turned on Mourinho, they turned on Sarri, who even ended the season winning a trophy and top 4. The truth is, the problem with the process is the people at the stadium are not used to a process. And the people on social media are not used to a process. So what Terry says, I have no problem with. And I'm sure Mo has no problem with it. Challenge for the top 4, finish 5th or 6th, win the Conference League. You want to know the problem? A Chelsea fan in the chat will say right now, if we finish 6th or 5th, I want Maresca gone. I want the next manager. Because that is failure in their eyes. And this is what I am arguing. I'm arguing from their perspective that they need to be more realistic about where their team is and where their squad is, because they don't have a better starting 11 as currently constructed than even a Spurs or an Aston Villa, never mind the Liverpool and Arsenal or a City. I think I see an escape and an exit easier for Man United than I see for Chelsea. That's the reality of the situation. You guys, Abdi's calling you not true and a liar. Just earlier on when Terry was talking, he said top 4 and winning the Conference League while doing well in the domestic cups. Guys, there is no, listen, your team has no SEN, no Lampard, no Drogba, no Cole, no Petr Cech. You have Petrovic, you have Reece James, who's on first name basis with a nurse. You have two center backs who are young, inexperienced, keep getting injured every 3 seconds. You have left back that you want to get rid of, and the other left back, half your fan base don't rate. There's a banner by your fans that if you sell Gallagher, we riot, and he's going to be the one that leaves the first 11. The same manager that put in a whole 2-page shift about Enzo Fernandez now has to choose whether he's going to bench Enzo, Caicedo, or Lavia to play Dewsbury Hall from the Championship. Your front line is completely reliant on Cole Palmer. Please understand, Chelsea aren't as good as you think. Now, the thing is, we're being actually objective. People think we're hating. I'm not hating at all. Me and Mo sat here and said, if Chelsea get Olise, they will be extremely dangerous. Did we not say that, Mo? Just yes or no before I continue. We said that, right?
Yeah.
We said it. We gave Chelsea credit when they signed Tosin Adarabioyo. We actually credited Chelsea for the Dewsbury Hall signing. The only thing I questioned is, okay, could Maresca be involved in this deal? Given the fact that, you know, they said that Pochettino wanted too much to get involved in the transfers, and that kind of maybe backfired a little bit. But the overarching point is Chelsea currently constructed aren't as good as people think. I think Chelsea have two fantastic players, and I mean fantastic. Palmer and Caicedo. Those are the two players that you have that are fantastic. The rest, there are question marks. There's injury proneness. There's inconsistencies. I mean, half the fan base wanted Raheem Sterling, you know, sold on a free this summer. 3/4 of the fan base can't stand the sight of Mudryk. Jackson, for the first half of the season, was getting compared to Højlund and Nunez. This is the things that we talk about. They completely ignore all these things. People were saying Gallagher has been a better midfielder this season than Enzo Fernandez for the club. This is the thing that we talk about. Stop over like, you know, exaggerating how good your team is, because it's not that good. The same players that you're relying on next season are injury prone and couldn't be relied on this year. There are people who are talking about Fofana. Fofana's played like 5 games in 2 years.
Hassam, let me add to Hassam's point just a small thing. The difference between us talking about Chelsea and some of the Chelsea fans is that normally when a club go into a season, there is a maximum objective and the minimum you can achieve. If you go to Liverpool, he says, my maximum objective is probably challenge. My minimum is to get third. My minimum. If I get third, I'll be happy. The difference between us talking about Chelsea from outside and Chelsea fans is that you guys are saying the minimum is to get top 4 and a trophy. That means you are going into the season expecting that you can actually get third or second, because that will be, this is your benchmark. You're getting, if you get top 4, I'll be okay with it. While we're saying, if you get top 4, it's great. And if you get 6th, 5th, and challenge for to get a final or something, it's good. Okay. It's okay. You guys are saying to us, no, the minimum is top 4. That means you believe at the current moment that your team can challenge, can get higher than top 4. If the minimum is top 4, you think you can finish above Liverpool. You can go higher than this. I think it's crazy to think that a new manager like Maresca, with these players, can actually be given everything to like, oh, you're going to get top 4 and it's done. Like top 4 is out. Some Chelsea fans told us top 4 is ours. We can even go higher than that. I think it's crazy to think this. I think it's very, very optimistic. It goes to touch a delusion, to be honest. At the current moment, Chelsea, you are in the area of Spurs, Aston Villa. By the way, Man United with Xerxes, with the signings they're making, and if they get Ugarte, I believe Man United starting 11 might be very competitive to get top 4 as well. So Chelsea aren't better than all these teams.
And
you just
Man
aren't.
United have done it more recently, more as well. Just 2 years ago, they got top 4.
Yeah, that's what Chelsea fans don't understand. I don't understand why people call us deluded. Why?
There are Chelsea fans in the chat that are saying, don't hate on Mo and Hussam, they're just saying the truth. And that shows that Terry, when he first started speaking about the divide in the Chelsea fans, he's right, because he sees the comments. There are people in the chat who are saying the same. First of all, there's the same robotic shit. He's just jealous about Lavia and Caicedo. And there is other people who are saying, we're hating and we're just being negative. And then there's people who are saying, okay, let's actually listen to what they're saying, not how they deliver it and who they support. And this is the problem. All I said was there are so many players that are injury prone, unproven, and not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. And I named the 2 players that are really good, and people are angry. You cannot expect 2 players to take you to a top 4 finish. Palmer and Caicedo alone aren't going to be able to take you to top 4. That's why you need help from other players around on the same team. So this is the thing for me. People just need to chill. And when you say trust the process, you guys need to understand. I'm a chemical engineer. Processes is my career is processes. Everything goes in a step-by-step basis. It goes to the mixer, and then to the distillation column, and then to the blah blah blah, and then to the blah blah blah, and the heater and the cooler, and then the packaging, and then the delivery. It's everything comes in steps. Now here's the thing: if you tell me minimum top 4 on the Conference League, you're telling me I want to get to packaging before I even get to the mixer. This is the problem. It logically doesn't make sense. You're in the mixer stage right now. You're at the start. All I've done is we're putting the chemicals, which is the players, in the tank, and it's mixing right now. That's it. Now, whatever comes on the end of it, we will see. You could be at step 4, step 3, but don't go all the way and tell me top 4 and a trophy or we failed, because then you're putting completely unrealistic expectations on your own manager that said trust the process. So if you wanted Maresca and you're happy with him, trust the fucking process then.
Do you know what I find really interesting? I actually thought I spoke quite nicely about Chelsea. But this here from this guy says, Terry sounds insecure because he knows Chelsea's squad depth is scary. This is where I know some Chelsea fans that are being positive are actually worried, because you didn't listen to a word that I said. I think Chelsea have got a lot to improve on. I think they've got to get themselves back up there. But I'm not as downbeat about them as others. I don't think everything they're doing is wrong. I think the PR is wrong. I think when they keep signing these youngsters, and I think they make Chelsea fans think about, oh my God, this guy might be our new striker. And I guarantee, like, if you actually go back and look at the last 2-3 summers, what, 60-70% of the youngsters they've bought have barely kicked a ball, will never kick a ball for them. They're here to be sold on making money in the future. And but most clubs, when they buy those players, don't make a fanfare about it. They've almost got to be less American and less noisy and keep things a little bit closer to their chests, I think. But they do need some more players. But I can't judge their summer yet. It's not finished. And we're still in a stage where it's hard to get players. I know that most teams are now out of the Euros and Copa America, but players are on holiday. I think by Monday, Tuesday, we're going to start to see the transfer market really accelerate. And I think there's a really good coach in Maresca.